Hello, world. I am Kronos. Welcome. So, today, I had a very interesting conversation with a friend of mine, a very good friend, very close friend. And he's going through a breakup, a bad breakup. The summary of it is they have been broken up for about 4 months now, and so he thought he was over her. And matter of fact, a while back she wanted to meet and it didn't work out, and she was like texting him about her scheduling, etc., and it like kind of put him off. He was like, he said, I just hope that she doesn't want to get back together. Like he was hoping and wishing the best for her, but didn't want her back. That was a few months ago, right? And now they met like a week or 2 weeks ago again. For some reason, I guess he missed her and he said he wanted to hang out. So they met and they got some wine and some cheese, I guess, or something like that. Basically, they ate. And they talked, and they basically, it came down to, she told him, move on. And he said, I could tell from his words that he could tell that she still loves him, but she has moved on. And she's telling him, move on. This is not it. Move on. And she still cares about him, but like that's obvious. Otherwise she wouldn't meet him. But, I mean, he's a really good guy. He's a really, really good guy. No reason not to. Like, it's easy to love him. Like, he's really deep, emotional, introvert, very thoughtful, etc. Like he's a very good guy. But he's up over his head with work. He has his own business, and so I'm not even going to go too much into the details of the breakup. That's not the point. The thing is, we talked about this over and over for a period of time, for a few days. And he told me that he kept saying how well, what I just said about that she still loves me, but she moved on. She moved on. He kept repeating that. And that told me that the fact that she moved on is bothering him, which is obvious what you would say, but the fact that he kept repeating that specifically the fact that she loves me but she moved on, she loves me but she moved on. So to me it said that it was an unresolved. I asked him, you might love her, right? Maybe, but what, the fact that you keep I told him this is about ego, right? because he's not speaking about wanting the best for her, and he does, of course he does, but he's not talking about being the best that he can be for her. He was talking about changing and like trying to improve himself or change himself, his behavior, and do something different in order to get back together with her, which is something that he could and should have done when they were together, you know, and he didn't learn the lesson so when they were together. So now when it's quote unquote too late, he wants to do the change, and he tells her he wants to, and we all know this same old story, I will change, I promise, and all of those. But the thing is, so I told him it's about ego, because and then he paused, and I told him, I mean, it's about ego because he is looking for recognition, for a sense of self-worth from her. He can't bear the thought that she doesn't want him anymore. I told him that's not love. Real love, the only love, is unconditional, and it's pure. It has no conditions. So if you truly love her, first of all you want her to be happy, and then maybe you want to be able to make her happy. That's fair. But what bothers you the most is the fact that she doesn't find you attractive anymore. Like, that is the number one, and you still know that she loves you, right? But she moved on because apparently she sees something that in your behavior that they have spoken about, obviously, many times, and he didn't change it when he had the opportunity. So now she doesn't take his word for it. She doesn't believe it, obviously. So I told him, first of all, if you want to make that change for you, right? So that you're better. Like, what can you learn from it? Forget her. What can you learn from this? What does this tell us about you? This whole relationship is a lesson. Like, every relationship is a lesson. Everything is a lesson, right? So what do we learn from it? Let's not focus on what could have been. Let's not focus on the past and on the future. What could have been or will be. Let's try to see right now. What can we learn from it? What is it trying to teach us? The universe. And at that point, the universe is pretty much shouting at you, move on, right? But what do you take from it? Because there is a lesson. Because if you can't move on, that means there's something that you still haven't processed, right? And you still haven't figured out, and you still haven't confronted. So I asked him, what if it was the other way around, and she was trying to get back together with you, and how? I told him, you would react exactly the same. You would say no. That's the irony, isn't it? And then he paused for real, and he was like thinking. And he said, that's really interesting. And that's when he told me about the first time that she wanted to get back together after they broke up, and how it put him off. So he said, you're all right. You hit the spot, because it's true. And so what does that mean? And then it got him thinking, and me thinking, of course. So what it means, it resolved something. you know, when he understood why he's doing what he's doing. It was no longer unconscious, subconscious behavior. It became conscious. He brought the dark to the light, right? He brought the darkness, he brought light to the darkness. He illuminated. He created wisdom out of ignorance. He learned something about himself, which is the number one important and is the only really important part of it, because Earth is a school. So whatever you learn from each experience, that's all that matters. So I told him, it hurts, but that's the thing, that's why it hurts. The whole breakup hurts, right? And you want to get back together, but figure out why. What is it that you're missing? And when it came down to it, it wasn't that undeniable love. I told him, when he spoke about this, you're not talking about her like a soulmate. You're talking about, he was talking about her potential and how good she is, and she has such a good soul, and she's such a good person, and etc., etc. We can be so good together, etc. But nothing about how they're connected beyond this life, you know, beyond this world. He's not talking about how he would rather be naked and have nothing as long as he has her, you know. It's not that fiery soul, like bursting flame, like that you don't give a shit about anything else except that person, you know. It's not that, so it's not, you know, is it really love? If it's not that, is it really worth pursuing? Wouldn't you rather be alone? When someone tells you move on, I don't want you, basically. Even if they do want you, but something is stopping them, whatever there is, but someone tells you move on, right? Why would you want to be with that person? Wouldn't it be smarter to pause and reflect? Sometimes it's the right thing to do, to move on, and everything is an experience, so it's always the right thing to do, but as long as you learn something from it, because otherwise, what have you been doing? What, except you have been doing something, and what are you taking from it? If you don't take something from it, didn't you waste your time? So, with any pain, as we said, any pain, every pain is a lesson, and love is the goal, right? So, what do we learn from the pain, and how do we get to the love? And so we talked over, and he said, we talked, whatever. We talked, and he said he was really contemplating that, and he understood that it's right, and then there is something about egoistic about it, that he's looking for a, well, I told him, you're looking for approval, right? Like, how could she not want me? Because when she wanted him, it was fine, right? He felt good. So how could she not want me? So it's something about the ego, about approval. They're discussing this pain. Because I promise you, once he won her over, he would again not appreciate it, and probably let her go again, because he hasn't learned the lesson. So, and then we talked about his former relationship, which had a different lesson to learn. And she was disrespectful. She didn't appreciate him. And it took him some time, like we all do. But he very quickly learned the lesson. And he let go of her. And he knew why, and he appreciated himself through it. Because he learned that he deserves better treatment. Nothing bad about her. She's good, she's great. They're just not, he outgrew her in that part. And that's the lesson that he needed to learn, and she had a lesson that she needed to learn from it. I hope she did. So from that relationship, he learned that he didn't even realize, but now he does. And now he has this lesson, So it's about, you have to be able to self-reflect and honestly look within and look for answers, and then you will find them. But as long as you don't do it, and until you do it, actually, you will keep repeating, the universe will keep teaching you the same lesson over and over again. Like, it will keep throwing that at you. Like, if you're an angry man, I told him this, if you're an angry man, you have an angry issue, and you don't deal with it, the universe is gonna keep throwing things at you that will make you angry. And the result of your response to it, until you learn you have the power to alter your response, until you do that, it will keep happening, and you will harm yourself first of all, and everyone around you, and you will alienate yourself, because that's what the universe is doing. He's trying to teach you through pain, and he's throwing you the same lesson again and again and again until you learn. And if you don't learn, it will just keep happening. So you better learn, right? Or you keep going in circles. So I told him, let's deal with the moment. Right now, all you have control over is how you respond and how you see it and how you react to it. Not her, not how she feels and how she behaves and how she... Even if she can't see what you see and you can see like a bright future and you think that you could be perfect together, she doesn't see it, right? And that's her. Let's focus on you. So how do we move on? You want her, she doesn't want you. How do you move on? Well, first of all, you learn the lesson, and you learn that you are overcompensating for something, and that you have this hole that you need someone else to fill. And so maybe you need to be alone and learn to love yourself alone. Being alone. For example, here's another story. It will come back to this one. So I was training a girl. It doesn't matter our relationship, but she was a customer of mine, let's say. We were friends, and she had a bad breakup with her boyfriend, and she consulted with me what to do. And well, I told her a few things. I told her, first of all, neurologically we're wired for 21 days to create new habits. So I told her, first of all, love yourself. And that's like vague. I told her, treat yourself like you would if you have someone that loves you, that treats you like however you treated him. However, like if you would make him breakfast to bed, do that for yourself. If you're taking him to the movies, do that for yourself. Like whatever way you show love, do it to yourself. And then you will learn that you will be able to get that love from yourself, the way you love it. And then he will slowly evaporate, because you will not need that thing. Because I knew that what he was giving her is not this soul connection, which you could, if you can get to that level, you would love yourself anyway. You could get to that with yourself anyway. So basically it's all ego. So she started doing exactly that, and she made herself breakfast, and she took herself out and like to places and hung out with, and like really treated herself really well, and like she would him, and did it for at least 21 days to get, you know, to get the habit, to get the habit of it, to get to the habit of it, so that it's constant and that you don't fall back, because you want it to be like something permanent, so that you never go back. So, and you always love yourself, and you show it which way you choose. And so she did that, and she got over him, and she realized she loved herself much more throughout that, because she acted upon it. And I told her, whenever you do it with love. Make yourself a breakfast, make it like you would for him, like put effort into it, make it like really, really fucking good. Like everything you do, just treat yourself like you would want it to be. Treat yourself like you would someone you love. Make it a reality with yourself, love yourself. And that's just one manifestation, of course, you know, because you could show yourself a lot of love through so many ways, but since we're in the physical world, the 3D world, we are limited to that in a way. We're not limited, but like, for example, the point is learning to be alone and being completely okay with it, but for real, not just saying it, not just telling it to yourself and to the environment. Being content is the word I was looking for. Being content with being alone, completely, just being with yourself. Learning that, and at some point you learn it's really a blessing, you know, and you can turn that loneliness to a blessing and learn about yourself and do what's really important. And then when you get with people, you could be completely a whole upgraded version of yourself, because you've spent this time alone working on yourself. And the thing is, you should always remember is, if you don't like being alone, you're in bad company. Isn't it so? I don't remember who said that, but someone did. It's just a quote I remember. if you don't like being alone, you're probably in bad company. Why is it that you don't like being alone? So this whole thing goes back to learning to be alone. Heartbreaks and breakups, and even not that. Sometimes God will, when I say God, you have to understand I mean creation, which is the same thing, creation itself. Us, we are gods. So when he sends these hurtful gestures, it's a lesson. The more it hurts, the more we need to learn the lesson. And if we don't learn it, we get the same lesson again and again and again and over and over. So listen to the pain. That's also the cure, you know, because if you avoid it, it comes back to you. If you deal with it, you can let it go, you know, and then you can move on for real and a better version of you. So what does it all sum up to? Being able to be alone, but there's more to that. You would say, but I want to be with someone, right? Right. But first learn to be alone. Learn to love yourself. Then you can be with anyone and the love that you will give, this is what I told you. It will be pure. It will be out of wanting to give love. It will not have a price tag. It will not have a condition on it. And then you will not regret it. You will not be able to regret it, because you gave that love freely and openly and wantingly, and that's the only kind of real love. It's the only kind of true love, and you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to whoever you're going to be with, because you want to give them pure love, right? And you want to give them unconditional and actual love. You don't want it to be ego concealed and masked as love. So when you speak about your significant other, what words do you use? Are you speaking about yourself or how they make you feel, or are you speaking about how much you love loving them? Or how much your connection is beyond of this world, you know? Beyond this world. Because, let me tell you something. Once you get that connection, everything else becomes insignificant. You don't want to settle for anything else. Once you get that soul level connection, and you can have that. We all can. We're all immortal souls in temporary bodies. We are focused consciousness is all. Your consciousness is focusing on right now, on your body, on this thing that you're operating. It's not you. We never go anywhere. When we die, we just transcend, we just transform to another dimension. We just go back to our astral form, basically, which is home. It feels amazing. It's home for us. Here is the abnormal, because we came here to learn a lesson. That's why it hurts. We all agreed to be here. But I'm not gonna go into all that right now. So, in continuation, he spoke about how he feel like he lost her now, and that he feels a loss. And so I told him it's connected to that thing that he's missing inside of her, of him, that she was feeling. So she was giving him feeling of worthiness, right? And it's missing now. And so he's chasing that. And so he's not really chasing her, which is ironically exactly what would cause people to back up and not want to be with you, and like, whoa. Which is exactly what's happening. So that sense of loss, when you keep saying I lost her, that question, change it. What did I lose? Ask yourself, what is it that I lost, really? Because it's not the person, because you never had her, really. I mean, you know that how the saying goes, if you love something, let it go. If it's yours, it will come back to you. If it doesn't, it never was. I know DMX said that. So, it's so true. Because true love is unconditional and it's free. It's given for free. And it has to be out of free will. And because everything else is ego. So ask yourself, do you truly love her? Have you lost something? Because everything that she has, you have. Because everything we have, everything that our other people have, we have ourselves, right? So why not take that and give it to ourselves? So what she was giving you, find out what it is that you're missing, that she was giving you, and give it to yourself, because you have everything that she has, right? We all have it. We're all lights. We're all love. So we can all create whatever it is that we found in another. And make sure that when you do love, when you say that you love, you actually do love. And you don't just interpret your ego as such. You owe it to the people you love. And how you know when you love? I mean, think about your family. Think about your favorite, like your pet, children, brothers and sisters. Think about time you truly love. Since we're all creatures of love, and as we said, all pain is a lesson, and the goal is love, we are able to create it ourselves and spread it out, and we are also able to give it to ourselves, because that's what we are made of. So there is nothing missing. So when he said there is something missing, he is missing her, he's losing her. Well, you're not losing, because there is nothing missing that you don't already have. When you find that thing and you can give it to yourself, not only will you become a lot more whole, but you will also be able to be free of that. And the next relationship, it will not come up. And you might even get together, because if you work on yourself, like if you really want her back, your best bet is working on yourself and being that change that you say, that you claim that you're gonna be doing. Do it. I told him, just do it. Do the change. act the way that you changed. Don't say that you will change. Don't say that you will be different. Whatever it is, do it, and work on yourself. And don't look for her. Don't chase her. Don't look for her for approval or for answers or to fulfill that void. Look for it within yourself, and once you do and you start working on yourself, you could upgrade again and again and again. And when you do, well, you know what, I just forgot this. Not only will it make you more attractive, and it's your best shot of bringing her back objectively, but you will improve, so you might not even want her. Like, you will be a better version of yourself. You might find that you're not attracted to her anymore, or maybe what's for sure is that's what you should do. Like, that is the right thing to do, because it will improve your future. You will be smarter, more whole. Whatever happens, that's the point. Whatever happens next, you will be a better version of yourself. So that's a future you would like to look forward to, right? If you're thinking about what could have been and what have been in the past, what you could have changed and how you would have done things different, you're not doing anything except pondering on the past and feeling that pain over and over again. Your imagination, like your being, doesn't differentiate between reality, like what's happening right now, and your imagination. When you're imagining those things, you're living them. You're living those moments. So you're feeling those moments, and you're reinforcing those circles, the circuits in your brain, the neural circuits. You're reinforcing those feelings, and you're looking for more excuses to feel them. Is that what you want to feel? And you can't do nothing to change it right now, so what is the point? Well, the point is it makes you feel connected, and it brings you back to time that you did have that void feel, which is what's creating the pain. That's why people do it. And maybe if you feel that pain, you will still have that connection in a weird way, right? But it's not really weird. It makes sense if you think about it. So that girl got over her boyfriend, and very quickly, actually, and she was devastated. And now he's doing that process, and I know other people, many people that do it, and many of us don't, and we just move on to the next one. And we look for that same void to be filled by them, by the next one, and then the next one, and we don't deal with the issue that is actually ourselves. So it's very important to, whenever we, I'm talking about breakups, but it could be also, for example, if you're very dependent on your friends or your family, or you could be, or your kids. This doesn't have to be with relationship per se. I'm just giving it as a very good example, because relationship is a good example, a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be just that. It's about, for example, like if the world, like is you're trying to fit in and you can't, for example, somewhere. Don't fight it. Think about why, and maybe it's not the place for you, you know? And why do you want to be in that place, and what does it mean? Because maybe God is telling you you don't belong there. There is a nice sentence that I like to use, which is, whenever you're alone, remember that God wants to spend time along with you, something like that. So whenever you feel lonely, whenever you feel like you have nobody, look at it as a blessing, as an opportunity to be with yourself. It's really a privilege, you know, when you think about it. So many people don't have a moment for themselves. Most people, maybe. I mean, if you look at the Western world, then yeah, most people don't have a moment, like kids and job, a career, and like they do people are so busy. Being alone with yourself is so precious. You know what, I'm saying this and I'm thinking like, right now, like, I'm so blessed to be able to have this moment right now, and like, I'm with myself recording this video, and no real worry. Like I of course we all have our problems, but the fact that I'm able to be right now, to be here and just talk, you know, I'm not in survival. It's amazing. Think how long we've lived in survival, and how many people are living in survival right now. How many people don't have electricity. We're not gonna talk about this right now, though. It's a very big subject. I'm not even sure how to call this video, because I was just gonna tell you about the conversation, which is still ongoing. I might update myself, basically, because I'm the only one watching, which is fucking awesome. I'll just keep making these thoughts to myself, like a diary, and even if nobody watches, I'm releasing it to the universe, you know, so it's there, so it's a creation, it's something, and it's everything we create is always there. Everything we say, everything we do, and it all comes back to us. So hopefully, and I hope it does reach people, and I hope it helps people. Otherwise, what's the point of doing this? So whenever you're dealing with, for conclusion, whenever you're dealing with any sort of breakup, you're in a position that you need to be alone, and like God forces you to be alone. The universe forces you to be alone in that particular moment. I'll give you that sentence I gave back a few videos ago. I think it's Confucius, I think it was, that said, "If a lion chases me up a tree, I will deeply enjoy the view." Which, as we said, is make the best of the moment. And the best you can make of that painful moment is to learn from it, how you can improve and become a better version of yourself. And even if it's, you know, it could be a foster, or like, it could be a child, or like a brother or a sister. It could be someone, or a friend, you know, that doesn't want to hang out with you anymore. Maybe it could be the entire class, you know. You could be in school, a kid in school, and the entire class doesn't. The entire class is like boycotts you. Good. Appreciate it. Apparently you're different, so special that they had to do it. And I mean, you don't need anyone and anything. You have everything inside of you. So remember, We are all gods. You have nothing to be afraid of. I'll see you next time.